Thank you. The next item is appointment to the Code Enforcement Board. This is a vacancy that was brought about by the Manny Carolla coming off the board. He moved, and it was after the last round of appointments. I would like you to consider one item before voting on this issue. Mr. Carolla's term was up in October of 2017, so you may want to consider, rather than appointing someone for what amounts to 6 months or 8 months, whether or not you want to consider fulfilling the entire term that would have started in October. So that's up to you, and if you let me know if that's something that you'd like to do by consensus, then that person would serve. Yes, Richard?
I'm confused. What entire term would have started in October?
A new term for the position. So Manny's position expires in October of 2017.
This coming October.
This coming October. So rather than appointing someone for just this number of months until October 17, and then having that person have to reapply.
And code terms are 3 years.
Are 3 years, yes. Okay.
So our question is whether we should appoint the person to fill out the term or for a 3-year term.
To fill out the term plus a 3-year term.
Okay.
Or just until October.
Madam Mayor, I would propose it just be for the remainder of the term. I'm not sure if the terms are actually set at 3 years, if we have the legal ability to
That's what I'm saying.
They are 3 years.
appoint someone to 3 years and 10 months.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
the attorney can opine on that, but that would be my concern.
I agree with you.
Thank you.
And it says at 2-77C, appointments to fill a vacancy shall be for the remainder of the unexpired term.
Right. Which is why I was,
Yeah, I get it.
if it was something they wanted to do, then they could, giving them that option. So, okay. So, moving forward then, there are, excuse me, a number of applicants and a number of people that I am not familiar with, so I don't know if they're here or not, but I'll call their name. And if they're here, they are invited to speak to you, so you can put a name with that face. And it's Mr. Scott Abelson. Okay. Would you like to address the council? They have your application. Okay.
Madam Mayor? Well, he's coming up here. One thing that has been of concern to me from time to time, especially with this board, is since this board is a board that enforces the village codes, I was thinking about asking in the future to have Barbara put on the application a question as to whether they're currently the subject of a code enforcement lien, you know, something like that, or have been. Seems like it might be a useful thing to know. So in your questioning, if any of you feel like that might be a useful thing to know, you might want to ask that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Seraphin.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I would just make a friendly suggestion that each of the applicants respond to that question tonight.
And I don't want to, Madam Mayor, and I don't want to complicate things further, but one of the things that I'd like to hear during the application process is I do like to hear if you've applied before and not had the opportunity to serve, because I know that there's been a lot of repeat applications and people that haven't necessarily gotten the opportunity, so I like to have that context. So, anyway.
As I was muddling forward, I didn't hear the first question you wanted to answer.
Do you have you had any code enforcement liens on your property?
Understood. Thank you. Madam Mayor, my name is Scott Abelson. I moved to the shores about a year ago, and I have not had the opportunity to apply to help serve the village. And I do not have any code enforcement against me as of now. None that I know pending either. As a new resident, I wasn't allowed to apply. I think I had to live here for a year. That anniversary is come and gone in December. And I think that I would like to volunteer to help the village that I now live in move forward and succeed. I happen to be in a position where I deal with enforcement or compliance every day. I own an insurance agency. I'm a commercial pilot. I have to follow the law. I live on 107th, which is the border between Miami and Miami Shores. And I can understand the importance because across the street, although my neighbors across the street happen to be very compliant and neat and tidy, it doesn't take much of a wandering away to see how things can go askew. So I think I can be impartial, and I think it can be fair, and I think I can approach the position from a point not so much as punitive, but as a way to help people advance the goodness, if you will, of our village in a place that I'm happy I moved to, and I would like to see continue to grow for my children, my two young children as well. Thank you.
Teresa Stoffel.
Hello. My husband and I moved to the Shores in 2008, and this would be the first time I've applied for being on the board. We have been fortunate to have no code enforcement liens or problems. I am the clinical director at Douglas Gardens Community Mental Health Center, so many of my responsibilities are ensuring that we meet and comply with federal and state regulations, as well as clinical standards that are set forth by all of our funding sources. So I just applied because I've been wanting to get more involved in my community, and I saw this as an opportunity to do so. Thank you. John Berryman.
Hi, my name is John Berryman. My wife and I have been residents of Miami Shores for about 10 years. The answers to the two important questions are, yes, this is the first time, or the second time that I have applied for the Code Enforcement Board. And no, I know much better than to get in trouble with code enforcement. I've been in business, or different businesses, for about 40 years. I've had an architecture and engineering firm for 30 years, where I became very well versed in code enforcement, negotiating with all sorts of code officials and clients who happen to end up being citizens, and always trying to come out with an amicable solution to whatever the problems were, whether it was a new building, renovations, or whatever. I'm really interested in the board because I think it's a real opportunity to help citizens understand the importance of the code and work out a solution that is good for the city, which happens to really be the citizens of Miami Shores. And that's what this whole thing is about. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Bailey is unavailable to attend. I provided him with your email addresses. I'm not sure if he contacted you. And Michelle Dentico, the same circumstances. She is out of town. John Farina? I don't see. Sorry. Okay.
Good evening, members. My name is John Farina. I've been in Miami Shores for 30 years. I worked for the county for 35 years, and dealing with code enforcement primarily. I'm quite aware of codes, their manner of being enforced, and understand the fact that everything is black and white, but there is some gray. That deals also with educating the public as we try to educate the citizens of Miami Shores. I have no outstanding liens against my residents at this time. And what was the other question?
Oh, you've applied for it.
I've applied before, yes, my second application. Basically the same information. I would like to work and help the residents of the shores with both the enforcement and education aspects of code enforcement. Thank you.
Charles Millian?
Good evening, Council. The reason that I applied for this board is that it was very important to me, as it always has been, to be engaged in my community. We've been in Miami Shores for 3 years and live at 485 Northeast 94th. There are no outstanding liens nor any coming, and I haven't applied before. So I think what's important to a person sitting on this board is the ability to listen, to understand the situation, and to make a sound judgment. Over the course of my career, first in corporate banking for 25 years, I had the opportunity to manage complex projects, evaluate situations, environments, deal with diverse personalities, and come to what I believe are good judgments. I'm now doing some entrepreneurial stuff with my own consulting firm, and have done a variety of projects that require me to again, deal with diverse personalities and come to sound judgments. All that being said, my passion is for engagement with the city and not necessarily code enforcement. So there may be other people who are more passionate about code enforcement. So to that end, I will not tell you that I will be devastated if I am not selected, but I will tell you that I'll be back again to appear before you to ask for appointment to another board so I can serve our village. Thank you.
And Damian Milverton?
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council, and ladies and gentlemen. The first two questions, no liens, and it's my first time seeking the position. I certainly, being last cab off the rank, I think I echo everyone's considerations for wanting to aid the community in a meaningful way. And obviously the Code Enforcement Board plays a great role in the very character of the shores, as it actually is one of the most visible impacts, perhaps, in a way. My background is I was a journalist for many years. I have my own consulting business now. I work in development globally for helping people with education, health, water issues, etc. in poorer countries around the world. The perspective I bring, perhaps uniquely, is just I would like to bring a family perspective to this. I've been in the shores for nearly 5 years. My son goes to school here. My wife and I are involved with many business people and residents here as well in many ways. But I would like to actually, as many have said, perform a duty that would actually help in many ways as well. But I think based on what I've read of the minutes of the Code Enforcement Board's work, it is a lovely blend in a way of the human side with the actual demands that the Shores does place on its residents to keep that very pretty face that it does have. So really, I have no code enforcement experience, I have no building experience, but what I do have is a bit of heart when it comes to considering issues that do impact real people in their lives. Well, thanks very much.
If you could put your name on the top sheet there and mark your indication. Not to get a tally sheet today, I apologize.
Different form? Okay.
Got a red pen. we have 2 votes for John Berryman and 2 votes for John Farina. So if you could vote again for one of those 2 gentlemen. Again, it's John Berryman or John Farina. Yes, we have 1, and then 1 vote is for Scott Abelson, but we're only going to vote amongst the 2. Yes, no? Yeah. Sorry, I was...
Where would you like us to do this?
You, do you need a piece of paper?
Oh, just a piece of paper?
Yeah, that's fine, as long as your name's on it. Again, I'm sorry, John Berryman or John Farina? And if you need paper, if you need paper, I'll Okay, Mr. Berryman has been appointed to the board, and that will be until October of 2017. And then,
Congratulations.
and then we'll have additional appointments at that time. Okay, thank you.